I'm going to be doing a viral moments of 2025 tier list. I made it myself. I'm pretty proud of myself. But these are the biggest events of 2025. I will start to read them off now. Number 1, Anxiety by Doechii. Number 2, The Pope Died. Big deal. Big deal. TikTok ban. Kendrick's Super Bowl halftime show. The Drake lawsuit against Spotify, UMG, Katy Perry went to space. Roblox protects its predators. Morgan Wallen SNL. That was a big deal to some people. Jet 2 Holiday. Diddy. The Epstein Files. 100 Men versus 1 Gorilla. Charlie Kirk. Taylor Swift album. Love Island. Minecraft movie. Trump-Elon breakup. Zoran Mamdani. 6-7. Labubu. Dubai chocolate. Those 3 things definitely belong all next to each other. I did not do that. That is randomized organization, but those 3 things definitely belong all next to each other. Coldplay cheating CEO, Sydney Sweeney Jeans ad, and last and probably least, Taylor Swift's engagement. So let's move into it. Number 1, Anxiety by Doechii. You pretty much can't escape this song. I was on a date at Chili's. The beginning, just the instrumental came on. And I got excited because I was about 11 years old when somebody that I used to know dropped. And so I got a little excited when I thought that I heard somebody that I used to know come on at Chili's. And then Doechii started singing. I'm going to preface this by saying I am sending no hate to Doechii. I like Doechii. I thought her album was pretty good. I think she's had a few good singles. I think the sample on Victory Lap is one of the hardest samples that's ever existed, and that comes from a song with her and Rico Nasty, which is also a good song. I like Doechii over here. We got love for Doechii over here. Now, that being said, Doechii did make a bad decision, not financially, but just legacy-wise, made a bad decision by remixing a song that is so beloved and popular. There are just certain things that you don't remix, that you don't do a cover of, whatever it is. That is one of those songs. We're leaving this shit in 2025. It was honestly a career misstep, in my opinion. I don't think that was a good decision. Number 2, The Pope Dies. Now, this has almost zero relevance to me in my life, but a lot of people really care. And I mean, for religious reasons and whatever, that's fine. But if you're just the average Joe who's not really religiously tied to this for any reason, caring about the Pope dying is weird. Caring about the Pope is weird. I see people, friends of mine who I know aren't religious, retweeting shit that the Pope says. Like, oh, the Pope said this. Like, why do we care what the Pope thinks about American politics or pop culture? Why does that matter? Why does that have any impact on us? Like, I'm all for people condemning Trump. All for it. But the Pope was out here condemning Trump, and my first reaction was, why do we care what the Pope has to say? It's equivalent to Joe Rogan speaking. He has no involvement, no stake, nothing in American politics or anything, but he just exists. And you know what? J.D. Vance killed him. My answer for this is I'm putting this in who really cared. The world moved on. I'm not saying we're going to leave it in 2025, Shout out Pope Francis. We won't forget about you, buddy, but he got killed by J.D. Vance. That's what happened. You heard it here first. You didn't, though. You heard it all over the internet, but I'm telling you again, I only spread the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I'm a truther, is what they say. That's what they call me. They actually call me a truther. And if you don't think J.D. Vance killed the Pope, can you prove to me that he did not? Can you find evidence that J.D. Vance didn't kill the Pope? No, you can't. And until you do, then I'm on the side that J.D. Vance killed the Pope. But until you can find me evidence that J.D. Vance didn't kill, explicit evidence, show me his absolute alibi. He killed the Pope. Can't rule him out. Moving on to the TikTok ban. Now, the TikTok ban was an interesting thing because it was a psyop. It wasn't a real thing. Trump and his administration said that they were going to ban TikTok, or was that even really what happened? If I'm not mistaken, I think Biden and his administration were the ones talking about banning TikTok, which was truthfully, when the shift of power happened, an alley-oop to Trump, because Trump was able to go on this press tour about saving TikTok when really what he did was just get 50% of it to American soil. And I don't even know how much that actually protects any of the concerns that they had, because the whole reason that America was concerned with TikTok, allegedly, was that there were data leaks. They were sending our data to China. So that was like a whole big deal when it comes to TikTok. So if us buying 50% of it has any impact on that, then cool. But I'm not sure it actually does. And honestly, I don't even know if that was true. I really think is that America just didn't like Chinese social media apps coming over and taking all of our people. You know, they don't like when things come here and take stuff. Okay, we go to places and we take stuff. People don't come here and take stuff. That's not how it works. TikTok ban, we're leaving that shit in 2025. That was just a psyop. That was some bullshit created by the government to distract from the Epstein files. That's all that was. Kendrick's Super Bowl performance. This was a massive deal for the unemployed. It was a big talk leading up to the Super Bowl performance on whether or not he was going to do the thing, you know, perform Not Like Us. He did perform Not Like Us, and he made it like a whole thing. He made it a whole spectacle that he was even performing it while he was performing it. Truly crazy hater work. Truly crazy hater work. But looking back with hindsight, the Super Bowl is the biggest moment of your career. The Super Bowl is the biggest moment for most artists' careers. Kendrick may go on to have a bigger moment than the Super Bowl because he's Kendrick Lamar, so things are a little bit different when you get to his standards. But for most people, the Super Bowl is the biggest moment of their career and very likely could be the biggest moment of Kendrick's. And you spent a good portion of it dissing Drake. It was cool in the moment. It was funny in the moment, but I think the history books will reflect poorly on that. Or maybe they won't. Maybe it'll look like the 50 Cent thing where he bought all those tickets to a Ja Rule concert. I'm putting leave this shit in 2025 because I just want that whole thing to never be discussed again. Can we do that? Can we just never discuss the Kendrick beef ever again? Is that possible? And that segues perfectly into the Drake lawsuit. So if you aren't familiar, and the dismissal of his own defamation lawsuit filed by him against Universal Music Group, or UMG, over Kendrick Lamar's diss track Not Like Us. Basically what he said in the lawsuit, I don't need to look over it anymore because I know exactly what it was about. He alleged in the lawsuit that UMG botted Not Like Us to give it artificial plays to try and take Drake down and lessen his public favor right before a contract renegotiation. That was his lawsuit. And then he had another lawsuit, a separate lawsuit towards Spotify for similar things, but not because of a contract negotiation, just because of like the role that they played in it, I guess. I'm going to put this in solid. I'm going to put this in, actually, you know what? No, this is going in Who Really Cared. This is going in Who Really Cared. Because it's, to me, I cared about this because I'm like a music nerd. So when I see like an artist standing up against major labels, that's a big deal. That doesn't happen. And when it does, people die. So I thought that was a really interesting thing. And I was hoping to see that lawsuit go well, but it's already been dismissed. Unless I think he is refiling or like has filed for like a motion to re-review it. I don't know legal jargon. And I'm still interested to see how that goes. Because it would be a major win for artists if Drake actually won the lawsuit, but Drake could also just be completely full of shit and not handling an L well, which is what most people seem to think, and I'm kind of on the same page with that, I'm not gonna lie. Now, Katy Perry Space. This was a big deal. This is a big deal. I think the funniest thing about Katy Perry in Space to me is that she's saying "What a Wonderful World" up there. I mean, that's fucking just awesome. That's like the most theater kid shit I've ever heard in my life. Honestly, I'm so impressed and mad that I wasn't the one to do that. I'm putting pretty big deal for this one. Pretty big deal. Katy Perry going to space, though may be forgotten about now. Pretty big deal. Big deal for the unemployed. It truly was. Truly big deal for the unemployed. People might disagree with that, but that's just how I feel. Roblox protects predators. So for those who don't follow Roblox or don't follow the YouTube scene as much, there is a creator named Schlep. He makes To Catch a Predator Chris Hansen style videos, but about Roblox, because he himself, when he was a child, was I don't know what word to use, harassed, abused, exploited, groomed on the platform. So he is set out to make it his mission to make it a safer place for children, because Roblox has been pretty historically bad with the moderation of their website in regards to, one, like hacking and exploits. Two, the biggest problem is that they don't protect their children from predators. They've been very known to ignore making bans on these predators, banning them from the platform until it's absolutely 100% required, because there's a bunch of people complaining about it. So they're on the side of protecting the predators almost always, and they tripled down on that stance this year by banning Schlep from the platform for impersonating minors, because he would use a decoy system to attract these predators. And technically that does go against Roblox terms of service, because you can't use a fake account. But he was doing it to catch predators on the platform, and something that Roblox wouldn't. And then they filed a cease and desist against him. They said that he can't play Roblox anymore, kind of trying to walk it back because Roblox lost a lot of public favor and they lost some stock money. So they're trying to walk it back and trying to like work with Schlep on things. But I hope Schlep airs it out, man. I hope he does. He's now collaborating with Chris Hansen. I hope he airs shit out, dude. We're going to leave this shit in 2025. I say that because I hope that Roblox leaves protecting its predators and becomes a safer platform for children in 2025. I've been on Roblox since I was a kid. I've had my issues with Roblox, and we definitely want to see these major companies protect their users, especially their child player base. Morgan Wallen SNL. Who cared? Who fucking cared? The only good positive I will give is that if it weren't for Morgan Wallen, I don't think the song Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party would exist, which therefore means I don't think the album Ego Death at a Bachelorette Party would really exist. Because she does say, like, I'll be the biggest star at this racist country singer's bar. And that's about Morgan Wallen. And that's the first lyric of the whole song. So if that's not there, then the rest of the song isn't there. So I will give Morgan his credit. He inspired one of my favorite songs of the year, my favorite album of the year. He was upset that SNL was too liberal. And then he posted on his story, "Get me back to God's country." Now that was S tier. That was just for that, I'm moving him up to who really cared, because that post was S tier trolling. Get me back to God's country. Are you fucking serious? I've posted that multiple times. I don't even like Morgan Wallen. I think he's a racist country singer. I'm not a big fan, but get me back to God's country. Fire. Absolutely fire. That's a bar. And of course, we've seen Drake hanging out with Morgan Wallen, starting off as grift. Drake's going to grift to the right wing, bro. It's going to happen. We're going to see Drizzy on the right wing. He's going to put on the hat. Drizzy will put on the hat. I promise he will. It's unfortunate. I don't want to see it. Nobody wants to see it. But it's going to happen. Drizzy is already slowly starting to grift. He's going to put the fucking hat on. He's got early onset MAGA. It's coming. Jet 2 holiday. We're going to leave this shit in 2025. That was a pretty... I mean, like, at the time, it was kind of a funny meme, like, just kind of shitty vacation moments. We can laugh at that. We can all look back and laugh at shitty vacation moments, but... this isn't a trend that I would ever want to come back. We're going to leave this shit in 2025. On to the next topic here. Diddy. Diddy. Okay, so the Diddy thing has actually been going on since 2023, but the documentary did come out like a month ago, so that leaves me able to put Diddy in here. Also, I think his trial took place this year. My personal opinion on Diddy, not that I know if I really need to give one, because it's kind of like there's really one opinion to have. There's one opinion to have. For some reason, there's two trains of thought, but there's one opinion to have, and it's that Diddy is the fucking Joker. Diddy is the Riddler. Diddy is evil. He is an evil being on this planet Earth. But there is there's an argument against that, and it's that I'm broke. That's what the argument is. I have the broke mind virus. That's all it is. And you know what? They're fucking right. So maybe if I had a little bit of money, I'd be like, man, this Diddy guy's not that bad. Diddy's a piece of shit. And until I touch like $10 million, Diddy's a piece of shit. And when I touch $10 million, I will rewatch the documentary, and I will provide to you an updated opinion on what I think Diddy did and if it's bad or not. In fact, Diddy, if you need somebody in your corner, if you need a streamer just to come on here and spread pro-Diddy propaganda, run me a check. I'll look the other way. All right? Cassie Ventura? Who's that? What is that? I've never seen. What do you mean there's a video in an elevator? I've never heard of that. I've never heard of anything about that. What are you talking about? This was absolute culture. This Diddy documentary went triple platinum, bro. I've never seen the internet. Yeah, I have. But realistically, like this year, there were only a few moments, and now it's like it's a thing where there's very few moments in time where everybody is collectively excited about one thing. Doesn't happen as often as it used to. The Diddy documentary was huge. I don't ever even open Netflix, and I sat down and watched that shit in one sitting. That's how fucking like huge that was. I had to watch it. You had to be there. Now on to the next big deal. The Epstein files. So a lot happened this year with the Epstein files. So just a brief timeline, just a brief breakdown. The Epstein files, Jeffrey Epstein was a rich millionaire hung out with a lot of billionaires, a lot of our politicians here in the United States. And he got arrested in like 2017 or some shit like that or 2019 for child trafficking, sex trafficking, amongst other things, just being an absolutely crooked, disgusting individual. And he was besties with Donald Trump. And these Epstein, he was known to have a bunch of files, a bunch of incriminating files that had a bunch of other information about other celebrities who also engaged in these gross acts, including the majority of our politicians that run America. So it's been a very big talking point. Trump used it as a very big point of his campaign to be like, I'm going to release these files. Didn't. So after not releasing them for a few months, this is what Trump had to say on Twitter. This was in July. What's going on with my boys, and in some cases, gals? They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who's doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA, and I don't like what's happening. We have a perfect administration, the talk of the world. Selfish people are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. And then he kind of just goes on, calls it a hoax, says that it was created by Obama, crooked Hillary, Commie, Brennan, and the losers and criminals of the Biden administration who conned the world with Russia hoax, 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, and more. He basically just said that the Democrats created a hoax to take him down, to hate on his bag. And then fast forward to the end of 2025, and we are currently releasing the Epstein files. So it was not a hoax. And he knew that. So he pretty much just got the files and was like, holy shit, I'm in that motherfucker a lot. Let's not release this shit. And now they're releasing a heavily redacted version of it, but people are unredacting some things because we have a lot of internet sleuths, if you will. I'm putting this in absolute culture. The Epstein files has been an absolutely huge deal for years now, and it's never going to go away. And as much as Trump wants it to, it's never going to go away until he goes away for it, or it's proven that he wasn't a part of it. They even try to take like an angle saying he was an FBI informant to take Epstein down. No, he had the man slimed out in his cell. Come on now. 100 men versus one gorilla. For a long time, I was on the side of one gorilla. For a long, long time, I was on the side of one gorilla on this. But I think 100 men might just be too much. Like, that's a lot. That is a lot of men. And realistically, a gorilla would retreat from a fight like that. A gorilla would never fight 100 men. But it was a solid little trend, nothing crazy. Oh, here's a big one. Charlie Kirk. Rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. Let me make that clear. So the thing with Charlie Kirk, right? The memes, hilarious. I won't lie about that. The song, the memes, the cultural zeitgeist that followed Charlie Kirk's death, hilarious. Now, here is a public statement regarding Charlie Kirk's death. When it happened, I was going through some things, and I made some jokes about it initially when it happened, and I do feel a little bad because what we're talking about is a man whose life was taken for doing something that's not very different than what I'm doing right now. I don't know anything about him personally, but I think the opinions that he had and how he chose to express those opinions and the way that he conveyed himself, and I think he was a bad person. Do I think he deserved to die? No. That being said, it has been one of the biggest memes of all time. My Instagram Reels feed is flooded with Charlie Kirk videos. So for that reason, I'm going absolute culture. I want to say leave this shit in 2025. I truly do. I want to say leave Charlie Kirk in 2025, but it's not going to happen. It's like George Floyd. We are never going to escape that. It's always... And George Floyd is a fucking meme right now. In Big 2025, George Floyd is a fucking meme still. It's ridiculous. Do I think it's okay that George Floyd's a meme? Not really. I think it's pretty fucked up, but you can tell I'm laughing because the joke. I have a terrible sense of humor. Taylor Swift album, Leave This Shit in 2025. It got a lot of hate. She defended it poorly. She had like a little bit of a mini public breakdown after her album release because the reception of it wasn't great. Her fans were fighting for their fucking lives. I saw QT Cinderella say, actually... By the way, I love you, QT. This is not me making fun of you. I'm teasing you, but like not because I don't like you, just because I thought this was funny. QT got on stream and she was like, actually, I think that we weren't supposed to like the album, and this is all just a part of it. It's all just like a part of. It's supposed to sound bad. It's supposed to not be good. She said something like that. I thought that was hilarious. Just the compartmentalizing of something. Leave Taylor Swift in 2025. There are so many more talented musicians, vocally, lyrically, sonically, and they're better people. I don't know. I just don't understand the whole craze about Taylor Swift. Maybe it's just because it's easy to be a fan of her. It takes no true effort. Love Island, leave this shit in 2025. I've never cared. I never will care. That's a bad opinion. I'm sure people would like to hear me say more about Love Island. I think it's a FBI-created program to just bring out the absolute worst of American citizens. It was created by Benjamin Netanyahu and Kash Patel to absolutely derail what a woman thinks her worth is and what a man thinks his worth is. Minecraft movie. Who really cared? Chicken Jockey. It was kind of just the whole Minion movie thing all over again. It really just felt like Minion movie part 2. And it didn't capture the same lightning in a bottle that the Minion movie did. The trend wasn't as funny. It felt like I'd seen it before, and it's because I had. I didn't give a fuck. Now, this is a big one. Trump and Elon breakup. Trump and Elon, as many people know, joined forces during Trump's campaign cycle. Elon promised to help Trump get elected, even created a system to see if Trump got elected on election night before the results were made public. Kind of sus, kind of weird, I don't know. Which I predicted this, by the way. I told my dad that I remember having this conversation with my dad. I said there is no way that they stay friends. They are both too rich and too egotistical to like each other for a long time. It's just not how things work. And sure enough, around 2 months into the administration, Elon had announced that he is stepping away from politics for personal reasons. And then very shortly after that, tweeted that Trump is a pedophile. Said that he's in the Epstein files, and that's why they haven't come out yet. You know what? Pretty big deal. We're going pretty big deal with Trump and Elon's breakup. I wouldn't say it was absolutely culture. The only really culture part of it was Elon calling Trump a pedophile, but he took it back. So can I really say it was a culture? Not really. Next, Zoran Mamdani. I don't even live in New York, and this man was on my feed every single day. Why? He ran a masterclass on social media marketing. Everything he did to get elected and get the people involved was fucking genius. And it was a huge moment, just a big moment for America, I would say. As a result of what's going on right now and the way things are, it felt like a big win for America. Just someone who's focused on solving the housing crisis, feeding the homeless. That's what politicians are supposed to do. They're just supposed to put food on the table, put pavement on the streets, and put roofs over our heads. And that seems to be what Zoran Mamdani's focus is. So we're going absolute culture for Zoran Mamdani. Shout out to the Zo. 6-7. So for the first month of 6-7, maybe 2 months, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. Ever. I had no clue what was going on. I am so unk. I'm so unk and so chopped that I had no clue what the fuck 6-7 was. And I had to ask my friends, be like, hey, can you explain the 6-7 thing to me? Because I don't know what's going on. And the first time I asked that, I got no answer, essentially. They were just like, oh, it's 6-7. It's a meme, 6-7. And I was like, okay, but what does it mean? I want to understand. I want to laugh. Motherfuckers are laughing. I want to laugh. And for weeks after that, it was never explained to me. And then finally, I asked Ian, or I Googled it. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I was like, what the fuck is 6-7? I'm sick of this. I need to find out, because people keep saying it. It's getting huge, and I have no idea what the fuck it means, what it's from, what it's a reference to. Typically, memes are a reference to something. So I want to know. And come to find out, it's just a rap song where a dude says 6-7. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. That is what it's a reference to. A random moment in a hip-hop song. I don't understand. This is one of the worst memes that has ever existed, and it's plaguing the youth. It is plaguing the youth. They say NBA YoungBoy's doing damage to the youth. 6-7 has done much more damage. Much more. NLE should come out with a 6-7 diss. And for that, we're doing Leave This Shit in 2025. And I did argue with my friend. I did argue that 6-7 will not stand the test of time. Because you know how memes are. Some of them fade away into obscurity, and other ones maintain a life cycle that outlives generations. Like 21, that will probably outlive me. I feel like my kids' will probably know what 21 is, as long as the internet still exists in its current form or something evolved from there that's still similar. I made a comment saying 6-7, I don't think it'll live forever. I think it will fade into obscurity by this time next year. Labubu's. Oh, man, Labubu's. See, this one's tough. Because when Labubu's first started, I didn't care. I thought it was stupid. But as time went on, I started to be like, hold on. I kind of want one of them things. No, I don't have one. I never bought one. I didn't want to spend my own money on it. I bought many for other people. None for me. I think Labubu's are fire. Y'all want me to come in here and hate on Labubu's. That's what y'all want. Y'all want me to sit here and say Labubus are gay. Labubus are dumb. Labubus are childish. Labubus are stupid. That's what y'all want me to do. But guess what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. Labubus are cool with me. I'm going to go with pretty big deal. I'm not going to say absolute culture. I really don't want to put it in absolute culture. But Labubus are a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. Now, Dubai chocolate. Dubai chocolate is in the same realm of, it happened around the same time, just like, what the fuck's going on right now? What is this Dubai chocolate shit? What is this Labubu shit? What is this 6-7 shit? What is going on, right? It was a weird month that month. And I think it was around the same time that fucking Charlie Kirk died. So just an overall strange month. Now, y'all know me. I have a personal connection with Dubai chocolate. If y'all have been following me on Twitch for the past 2 months, you know I have a personal connection with Dubai chocolate because I made some on stream. I'm a big fan of Dubai chocolate. I mean, you had to guess that. I made it on stream. I've bought it in its form. Since then, since when I did my stream where I made it, I've made more. I made them for my family with my mom. Mom and I got together and made some Dubai chocolate for the fam. I don't understand why it got so big. It seems like an obscure snack. Like, nowadays, nobody really cares. You don't hear people going crazy over Dubai chocolate anymore. I think the people who know they like it, and the people who didn't try it will probably just say that they don't like it and move forward. And some people don't like it too. And I don't think it's going to like move beyond that. So it's going in the solid. Solid. I like it. I love it. Wasn't really that big of a deal, but it was a craze for a little bit. A lot of people take it very seriously. Coldplay cheating CEO. Who really fucking cared, dude? It was a funny meme, but who really fucking cared? Besides him and his wife, who fucking cared? And his mistress. Every last one of them made statements. Just the concept of cheating on your wife or girlfriend, partner, whatever, getting caught, and then everyone releasing a public statement would be fucking terrible. Like, if every time you went through relationship drama, everybody just hopped on the notes app and took a screenshot and posted it to Instagram, do you know how fucking tough that would be? Like, I'm glad that as normal people, normal broke people, we don't adopt rich people standards, okay? I'm glad that not everybody has to make us a fucking statement. I'm glad we haven't gotten that far yet, but we will. We are getting there. We are moving to the point where a regular, everyday person is going to have to make a statement to their immediate circle on social media. That's just where we're moving. Bad guy, cheat on wife. Rich guy, bad guy. Whoa, who would have guessed it? Sydney Sweeney jeans ad. Now, this was a huge fucking deal for some people. Not me. Because I don't care, but I'm also someone who doesn't feel, like there's nothing for me to get offended by that commercial. Now, there are some people who got offended by this commercial because they said Sydney Sweeney has great jeans. She does. They just said Sydney Sweeney has good jeans. Pun on their little jeans because they're a fucking jean brand. It was American Eagle, I think. I love to be upset. I watched it so many times just to try to get upset, and I never could because all they're saying is that Sydney Sweeney has good jeans. They're saying, hey, hot girl wearing our jeans. She has good jeans. That's it. That's all the fucking ad was. But people decided to turn it into this whole ordeal about how Sydney Sweeney's racist, and then she did herself no favors. She did herself no favors by doing that fucking interview where she said, like, it was surreal. It was surreal when the president talked about me and defended me. It was so surreal. And she got so much hate for that finally at the end of the year, she was like, guys, I'm not a Republican. What do you mean? But I'm pretty sure it's like confirmed that she's a registered Republican and voted for Trump, but whatever. Anyway, Sydney Sweeney jeans, leave that shit in 2025. Stop with the cancel culture bullshit. I don't want to be one of those fucking Twitch streamers. That's not why I'm here. I'm not here to defend bad things. I'm not here to denounce cancel culture. That shit's so dumb. But when it comes to shit like that, like, we just gotta chill the fuck out. And last, and certainly least, Taylor Swift's engagement. The post was really corny. She said your English teacher and your gym teacher just got engaged, something like that. Super, super corny. Bro's really talking to himself. Yes, that's called recording a YouTube video. That is what YouTubers do. Georgia Stick. Or else it would just be me sitting here in silence, moving things onto a tier list. That's all it would be. If I weren't recording, I would be doing it in silence. But because I'm recording, I have to speak. I hope you understand. Imagine if you just came in here and I was sitting here in silence, just moving things onto a tier list. Would that be content that would be riveting to you? You're not a YouTuber. No one is watching your BS. It's funny you say that when you join my fucking stream. You say that in my chat. You're in my chat watching my shit. We're leaving the Taylor Swift engagement in 2025. I don't want them to leave their engagement in 2025, I wish them the best or whatever, but who the fuck cares? Who fucking cares? So, peace.